Welcome in, everyone. Welcome to Butcher and the Beard. I'm David Butcher. That's John Shanley. How's everyone doing this morning? And the Christmas Eve a special edition
New Year's
episode. Oh
Eve.
yeah, what did I say? What did I say? Christmas Eve? Damn,
You said Christmas Eve.
damn.
That's okay.
Yeah, New Year's Eve. Hey, we'll keep it in there.
I'm back
Yeah,
home after a week vacation,
yeah,
up and visiting family in New York from my roots and having a good time. Went to my old sports bar and had some good wings and some good times. And now I'm back. And what a day to be back. Sorry
yeah,
we missed y'all yesterday, but it was a travel day for me. And Dave had a lot going on. But
yeah. Sorry
man,
about that, guys.
what a day!
Yeah,
Let's start out quick. My Rangers took first blood in our matchup against the Lightning. It was
yeah,
our first matchup this year. Dave versus Dave's team and my team in
yep,
hockey. And Rangers, we whooped them, man. We're just
yeah.
we're
It was
just good
2-0
this
first
year.
quarter
But
or first period. I didn't
yeah,
even and it was at home. That's even more sad. It was at light. It was in
yeah.
Tampa.
Well, I
Yes.
mean, listen, I'm watching that game from the beginning, and as soon as the Rangers scored the first goal, half the crowd cheered because the Ranger fans just travel. Half of
Yeah,
us
for
live
sure.
down here anyway, so.
Yeah. So I know all about you
So
New York fans.
that's it.
All
So
right, yeah.
listen, we take A1 and we've done well against you in the regular season the last few years, but our last two playoff meetings, you guys had the upper hand. So,
Yeah,
this is what it is. This is how sports goes, and
for sure, for sure.
that's why you love it and you fucking hate it at the same time. So
That's
so
true.
we
That is
take we
true.
take round one and we'll see what happens the next time. Uh let's move on to just a quick thing before I get into my big thing for the day, because obviously I'm a Knicks fan, so we'll get to that in a
Yeah.
second. But there was another trade in Major League Baseball. Chris Sale goes to Atlanta.
Wow.
Red Sox. Red Sox cleaning house. What's going on? I mean, I don't know, man.
We'll see. I think a lot of teams are cleaning house. It just seems like it's
I'm
floating
shocked.
around.
I'm shocked that it wasn't traded to the Dodgers. Like as soon as I saw Chris Sale traded, I'm like, tell me
Yeah.
this is the Dodgers. But it wasn't. It was the Braves trying to keep pace with the Dodgers, whatever.
Yeah, for
Uh,
sure.
he's Sale's an incredible talent. I mean, he's was hurt a lot the last couple of years, but if he's
Yeah.
healthy, man, that's a huge spot for their rotation.
Yeah, that's the good thing about baseball. There's no salary cap. So,
No,
you can take a chance and not
we can
and be
give
whatever.
somebody whatever we want, and it
Yeah.
doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Until they do steroids and then
Well,
sue you. Then that's a little bit different, but that's
that could
all right. My Knicks lost three in a row, 4 out of 5 ever since the big Christmas Day win against Milwaukee, and now they made the trade. They pulled the trigger. They got rid of RJ Barrett and Emmanuel quickly for OG Anunoby. Obviously, they got some other guys in that trade too. The one guy, he's a good backup power forward center, which will help because of the loss of Mitchell Robinson. But overall, my first initial thoughts were, it's cool because I think that solidifies the starting rotation and it solidifies, who's going to be out there on the floor in the fourth quarter. But it definitely takes away from our bench. Losing quickly that hurts because I think
yeah.
he's going to be an absolute star. If we did not, if we didn't sign Brunson, I feel like Emmanuel quickly could have been our starter, and they would have been saying same things about him. He should be an all star, and he is just great, and this and that, and but he was on our bench, and it was obviously great to have that quality of a player on your bench. And I think, in 2 years, and my buddy Floyd, who has helped us out in the past, said the same thing. He's like, in 2 years, they're going to be saying we lost Emmanuel quickly, just like Dallas lost Jalen Brunson. Like he's that
Yeah.
kind of talent. And but at the same time, the way the Knicks were constructed this year, they had a lot. They had so much depth at the wing and guard position. It's like you had to do something. You know, I always felt that RJ was a younger version of OG Anunoby, but Obinobi is a little bit more polished, and he's ready to do something now. He's
Yeah.
a true small forward, where RJ was kind of like that two shooting guard, but he was bigger, so they had to put him at the uh, at the three. So
Yeah.
they also, like, I know there was a lot of talk about him going to Cleveland for possibly Donovan Mitchell and him going to thing, but I think some of the things that organizations don't talk about is they want to take care of their players too. And RJ, obviously being, the third pick overall in the draft, and a lot of the rebuild of the Knicks started with his drafting and his draft class. But they wanted to take care of him too. And like he loved New York. He wanted to be here for his whole career. But if he was going to go someplace, Toronto is, the place for him. He's Canadian. He's he's a huge part of their Canadian national team. He grew up in the city of Toronto. His dad, played for the Canadian Olympic team. He has heritage there. That would be a good place for him to be his next stop.
Yeah.
Quickly, he's a free agent. At the end of the year, he might leave. We could get him back, but he's restricted, so I'm not sure how that works after the
Yeah.
trade. I really wanted to keep him, but man, God bless him. Thank God we had him for when we did. And if he blows up, he blows up. But
Yeah.
what the Knicks did is they said, instead of having four guards to choose from on who you're going to play, we're going to get a real small forward, someone who's won a championship before, someone who's really good and will fit perfectly with the pieces that we have. Now, does he put us over the edge? No, but I do believe we are better now with him in there.
Yeah.
The most disheartening part about the whole thing is if you look at last year, the team that made the playoffs and made the second round, we had five guys in the original rotation that were part of that we drafted. We had Mitchell Robinson, Obi Toppin, Emmanuel Quickly, RJ Barrett, and Quentin Grimes. And they were five of your nine guys were drafted. And now the only ones left are Quentin Grimes and Mitchell Robinson, who's hurt. You can't do anything about that. But and when he comes back, Mitchell will start. But it's just so disheartening. Like you want to see those guys you draft like become stars,
For
but that's
sure.
part of the game too. Like you get these guys to trade to make your game better, your team better. And right now we have a really good, solid team. They're going to be really good defensively, even though they've lost last night with a shorthanded team. Dante DiVincenzo had 38 points. So like, I feel like we're going to have enough scoring. I feel like this is going to add some stability defensively. And the Knicks have had a really tough schedule at the beginning of the year, and now, I mean, it's eventually going to even out. Like they played most of their games on the road already, so they're going to have a lot of home games coming up. And I'm looking forward to hopefully these new guys in the new year playing. There's not going to be some
Yeah.
practice time, but they're going to be home, MSG, playing against a good Timberwolves team, and we're ready to see how the rest of the year unfolds.
Yeah, for sure.
So that's my rant about that. Obviously, I was going to talk a lot about it because that's my team, and
Yeah, for sure.
like I said, I am excited about it. I like initially you feel like they really did hurt their bench
Yeah.
by this trade.
The
But
rotation's a big part of the game. You know
the
what I mean?
rotation
So,
is a big part of it. So
yeah.
right. So like when these guys get rest, who's going to come in and score points? Like
Yeah.
Josh Hart is great for what he does, but he's not known to come out off the bench and score 20 points.
Yeah.
He's gonna get you your rebounds. He's gonna be your defense. He's gonna do this and that. And maybe you put DiVincenzo back on the bench to him to be, but then who do you start? Hart. It's just we'll see what happens and we see how it goes going forward. But there might be some growing pains at the beginning. But overall, I feel like our starting lineup is really, really solidified now,
Yeah.
even though it cost us our depth.
That's it. And at least you're not the coach, so you don't have to make those decisions.
I don't have to make those decisions.
Yeah, that's the best part.
Well, every fan is a coach in themselves. So like whenever the coach makes a decision, we just tear him apart the next day of how he was terrible. And
for sure.
But,
we're the coach critics.
We're the coaches on the side.
Yeah.
Actually, Greg Popovich just just made a comment I saw. I was dying. He's like, I was criticized about how the team's doing. We're a young team and this and that. He's like, and I've seen all the social media, so we just want the fans to know that we're going through all the comments and we're looking for a new assistant coach. For there.
That's a good one. That's funny.
Yeah,
that is good. All right, so we went through our basketball. Onto the Saturday night game that we didn't get to discuss yesterday was the Lions versus Dallas at home on the JB Johnson's induction. So maybe that was a good game. till the end,
It
right?
was. I'll be honest. I fell asleep in the end, and I
Yeah.
woke up to reading all the controversy. And
Yeah.
my thing is this: it's like, okay, yeah, there was controversy about whoever was eligible, ineligible, and
Yeah.
whatever. They still failed to make the play. But why are you going for two?
Yeah.
Kick the field goal, kick the extra point, go into overtime, take
Yeah.
your chances then. Like I don't understand. Like I've seen it before. Like even a couple years ago, my Giants did it. They're like, "Fuck it, we're just going for the win." But it was early in the season, and it's like this game could determine who gets a home field advantage. Like Detroit had a legit shot because of everybody else, like the Niners and them losing, that they could have gotten the number one seed if they won this game.
Yeah.
So, do you really want to take that on one play?
No,
You,
not
you
not
know,
not with the momentum that both of those
no.
teams had at the end. Because Dallas didn't score after like that, like through the whole game. Like they only had
Yeah,
19, 20 points. So I don't
like
know,
I
man.
understand momentum and stuff like that, but it's like there's a reason for things, and you gotta.
Yeah.
Analytics might tell you one thing, but watching years of football tells you a different thing.
Yeah.
Because instead of letting the game decide on one play, if you tie it and go into overtime, now you have multiple plays on offense, on defense that can win you the game. It
Yeah.
only does take one play to change or make win a game, but you're giving yourself more opportunities to do that if you kick the extra point and tie it and go into
For
overtime.
sure.
You can
Yeah.
you can get a pick six, you can get a fumble recovery, you can win the toss, go down to the field and score a touchdown. So
Yeah.
there's more opportunities in that. So like I said, analytics might tell you, oh well, it's a we have a better chance to do this than to if you miss the extra point, whatever.
Yeah.
That
Uh,
should still be the call, and I
yeah.
will forever believe that because, like I said, yeah, analytics might tell you this might be a better percentage, and maybe you're like, well, I don't want to go into overtime, and I want to just decide it here or there. But like I said, you go into overtime, you have a series of plays that could help to move the game in your direction. If you lose, you lose. At least you did it. I think you did it the smart way.
Yeah,
You
I,
know?
I know Dan Campbell. He's, he was the intern coach for the Dolphins, and he's a people man, and he just does his thing, and he wants to fight lions in the gladiator cage. And
Yeah,
I get it, man. But when you go there and you succeed on a 2 point play, and you get robbed, whatever the NFL refs or whatever the hell's going
yeah,
on, you take the point, and then you just use that momentum that you got the extra point, go to overtime, and
exactly.
win that game. Play with that
Yeah.
thing because now you're like, oh, I'm going to show them that they can't rob me of this 2 point, and then you fumble to lose the game
Right.
like
I
that.
mean,
That hurts. Now you have to do an onside kick because you have to hope that that happens. The analytics of an onside kick is what, like a 0.5%.
yeah,
You
yeah,
know what I mean? Like they put their hands teams out there. You got to kick that thing. Hopefully
yeah,
the guy's hands that day were cold as can be. Not in Dallas Stadium when it's domed up and they
yeah,
got it at 73 degrees running through the whole freaking facility. You know what I mean? So
yeah.
like I don't know, man. Sometimes as coaching, you want to be that guy because it's always good to rub it in someone's face after you win going on a 2 point conversion. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
Look at us. We lost that game to Dallas. I mean, not Dallas, to Tennessee. They went on a 2 point conversion and then they just needed to score a touchdown to be ahead of us. And there it was. You know what I mean? So like, yeah, sometimes it works out, but like at the end of the day, man, it's not at the end of the game right there. Like that's so because I don't know, man. It's a
I don't
big
know
call.
either.
It's a big call. It's a big call when the momentum was so swinging. You know what I mean? That's what it
Yeah,
was. It was like, things happen. You false start. You know what he would have done if they would have false started? He would have kicked the field goal. You know what I mean?
exactly,
So why
exactly.
didn't the field goal get kicked after that penalty?
Right.
Or not, whatever that, because
Yeah.
yeah. So it is what it is. I guess we'll
It
always
is what it
pray.
is.
Yeah.
Dallas, like, okay, so that was the integrals of the game.
Yeah.
It didn't hurt. It hurt the Lions from the standpoint of now you probably have no shot at that first overall seed,
Yeah.
but they're still going to win the division,
I
and
think they already clinched the division.
they already did.
Yeah, I think they already clinched. They already clinched.
Yeah,
That's why I don't know. Were they playing because they already big headed, already knew that they had
I
the
mean,
division
they
clinched?
listen. I don't. They played. Yeah, possibly, maybe, but still, you play to win the game. Be smart, you know.
Yeah, because now you have to hope that the San
Listen,
Francisco,
home field makes a big difference in
it
the
does.
playoffs.
Yeah,
Yes, road teams can go in there and win, but more times than not, home field, especially for a team like Detroit, that
yeah,
they have not been a good organization. Like
yeah, for
through
sure.
their
They
history,
would.
they've made playoffs, they've made runs, like a couple runs, but they're give your
This
fans a couple. Like if you're gonna make it, give your fans all the reasons in the world to come out and support you and make.
who's the PR of the Detroit line? You know what they were thinking is that they're like, you know what, we'll get the 2 seed, and then we'll let San Francisco get the 1 seed, and then we'll meet in San Francisco in the nice weather like we were talking about.
Maybe,
So,
maybe, but
unless it, because it's going to come down to what? It's going to come down to the Cowboys playing the Lions again, probably in the playoffs, or playing the Eagles again in the playoffs.
I would say so. I still Dallas would have to win their last game,
Yeah,
and they have to have the Eagles lose one of their next two,
yeah,
which is the Giants, and I can't see that happen. And the Giants gave them a run for their
yeah.
money,
They
so
did.
you know what?
Maybe they'll.
Anything could happen, and then Dallas would get it. But assuming San Francisco rebounds and wins the next two, which they probably should, they'll clinch the number one seed.
Yeah,
Dallas still, that was not what I expected from them at home. I mean, I know Detroit is a good team, obviously,
yeah,
and but they just, I don't know. They should have got a safety, and then they luck out getting the 99-yard touchdown.
yeah. I know.
I saw that, and then
92, 92.
92, yeah, but
Yeah,
still, it's like
CD. I mean, CD Lamb
they
went
have the
crazy.
weapons,
Yeah,
and but Dallas is still going to be Dallas, and anything
yeah,
can happen. But they've had some tough losses on the road, and I think they're going to end up playing a red hot Bucks team who's
oh yeah,
really, I'll tell you what, man, they're playing really good right
yeah,
now. So I'm not quite sure that it's a repeat of last year if they play, in Tampa,
yeah,
thinking that they're gonna, repeat what they did. No, I don't know. The Bucks are playing really well, and they don't play well on the
yeah.
road.
But I,
So if that's the
yeah,
matchup,
we'll have to see.
I would not be surprised if Dallas, who I originally picked to possibly go to the Super Bowl, I wouldn't be surprised if they get bounced in the first round.
Yeah, if that happens for sure. That could be a possibility. So that's their Saturday game. We're on to Sunday. We got at
Yeah.
1 o'clock the Dolphins versus the Ravens in the AFC showdown. That's what I'm calling it. That's going to be a big game for me. The
I
Ravens,
remember a few years ago they used to take the best games and put it into prime time. This should have
yeah,
been a prime time
yeah,
game,
for sure.
absolutely.
Yeah, I
But
don't. 1 o'clock for me is perfect. I don't have to wait
well,
around till
yeah,
8 o'clock. We get to play at 1 o'clock when it's a little bit the sun's still out, not as
yeah.
cold. The Dolphins play better like that. But like,
That's that might determine the number
uh,
one seed
isn't that crazy?
in the AFC. So
Yeah, I like to be
we're
the
looking
underdogs
forward to
too.
that.
Yeah, for sure.
Rams,
It's
Giants. Giants are probably going to lose. They are at home. Rams are probably a little bit better than them. They just have more talent offensively.
yeah.
But if
They
the
got
Giants
Puka,
defense
Cooper.
shows up, it's their second to last home game. And then they have the Eagles. But
Yeah,
whatever, whatever happens with the Giants, it's cool. But yeah, Dolphins. I can't wait for this game, man.
yeah.
This is going to be
You don't have to wait long.
right. I might just put this on my main TV because
Yeah,
when I watch football, I have two TVs and I usually have one game on the side and
yeah,
game on the main TV. But Dolphins might get that because that's going to be. I mean, both teams have gotten to where they're at 11-4, 12-3. Game apart and two different conferences. This could be a preview of the championship game.
it could be. We
And
don't know what the.
you don't know how everything's going to unfold. But yeah, no, I would say they're both around the same area. Last year they were good, but their quarterbacks were hurt and
Yeah,
just kind of fell short. So now their quarterbacks are healthy. Lamar got his nice big contract,
yep,
and Tua has been playing lights out, and now they're both leading their divisions a
yeah.
year later.
Like they said they would if their quarterbacks were there. You know what I mean?
Right. And last
So
year, like even the Dolphins in that first playoff game, they lost a very close game to the Bills, and they could
yeah,
have
in
beaten that if
Buffalo.
it
Yeah,
wasn't for right. And then the same thing, like the Ravens, they made the playoffs and they lost to Didn't they make the playoffs last year or no?
They did.
Yeah,
I think they did. Yeah.
they did. They lost, I think, the Bengals. So
Yeah.
you know, it's one of those things where yeah, they just now they're on the top of the division, and then what you worry about is a little bit of playoff. See, if you look at it too, like playoff and experience has stuff to do with that. Like you have the Chiefs who obviously have a ton of playoff experience, so even if they just kind of get in, we'll see what happens. That's why like
Yeah.
home field advantage does make a difference to these teams because the Ravens or the Dolphins, it's going to be that much harder to beat you on your home field.
Yeah, for sure.
Going
100%
through.
in a
So
playoff game where fans
yeah,
kind of come out to show support during a
oh yeah,
playoff game. You know what I
absolutely.
mean? Like during the regular season, yeah, you're like, oh, I see more fans like this. But when that team is on the news in their hometown saying, hey, you're going to a home playoff game, that somebody
Yeah,
finds a little bit of extra cash in their pocket that they might have went to the beach that day, but they're like, you know
they
what?
they ain't charging 45 cents a ticket for those games.
Nah, not for those games. No. That's what I'm saying. So like you get a little more output of your real home team. You know what I mean? Because those fans that have the tickets already like bought from their season tickets are like, yo, I'm not selling that to somebody else. I'm going to that. That's a
No.
playoff game. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah,
So,
oh
you
yeah.
know,
This is
so
this is a this is a playoff game for both of these
I
teams.
don't
So
even
I'm
know the last
excited.
time we hosted a playoff game. I think it was 2001 or something like that.
Nah, nah.
2001. You're telling me 22 years ago. You know what I mean? Like those people are retired and might not even watch football anymore. You know what I
Well,
mean?
that's just it. Like, these organizations, it's crazy.
Yeah.
And then like when you have these dynasties and you expect to see them every year, then they go away like the Patriots, and it's like, man,
Yeah.
we might not ever see them that successful again.
Yeah. You
So
might
take
never.
it for what it is.
Yeah.
Basically the rest of the games, you got the Patriots and the Bills. Like who cares? Bills are gonna roll them.
We said that
Falcons,
about the
Bears,
Chargers.
yeah. Falcons and Bears. I like the Bears in that game,
Yeah, me
but
too.
two non-playoff teams, Colts and Raiders. Neither of them are making the playoffs. That could be a good game. I kind of like the Raiders have been hot, but they're better at home. But that could be a close game. Panthers at Jaguars. The Jaguars need to rebound. They've had a couple of ass
They,
kickers lately, and if they're
yeah, they
supposed to
need.
win the division, they need to turn it around right now.
Yeah, you can't lose
Texans.
this game.
No, no, because then all of a sudden, now they're tied with the Texans, right?
Yeah,
And the Colts, they're all 8-7.
yeah, that's
See?
what I was telling you. I was like, you said non-playoff for the Colts.
Oh yeah, no, they could be.
That's
So
what
all
I'm
right,
saying. The Jags are literally letting the whole division back into the race.
I see that. So I guess we'll keep an eye on all of them. Tennessee's the one that's not in it. They're 5-10. But
Yeah, no, they're
so
done.
Texans, Jaguars, and Colts all gotta win. They're all home this week, so
Yeah,
that's all favorable. Eagles and Cardinals. Eagles are at home. They should roll the Cardinals. I know the Cardinals have had some upset wins here and there, but they're
yeah,
not going to beat the Eagles.
yeah.
But then again, the Eagles have not looked great.
So
They have to win this game,
yeah, that's where
obviously,
what we're
because
pointing at. Or it's the win that has to be done. You know what I mean?
Saints and Bucks is interesting. It's we just mentioned the Bucks are hot. They've played some really great football, but the Saints they're 7-8. So if they win that game, they're tied.
Yeah,
So you know that could possibly be an interesting turnaround. 49ers and Commanders, they're on the road, but the 49ers are going to get back on pace. Like
yeah,
they're winning that game. Steelers and Seahawks. This should be interesting. It's in Seattle. Both teams are fighting for a playoff spot. They're both 8-7. Steelers had that big win after a loss, after losing like three straight. So they're playing better. But I kind of like the Seahawks in that game because they're home
yeah. I know. That's a
and
game that I've been like because I have Pickens as my wide receiver,
yeah,
and I'm like, do I want to play him this week or like is it going to
yeah,
be like that? So I have him on the out bench right now again. If Mason Rudolph goes off again, then it is what it is.
yeah,
But like I think I had Jerome Ford and he went crazy. So
yeah.
I'm okay right now. I guess he's gonna
I'm
have
I'm
to.
in the battle for the basement. So if I
Yeah,
lose, I get the first pick in next year's draft.
yeah. So
But
you're
if I
hoping.
win, then
I
I'll get the
know
second pick in the last 6
my
years. So,
that's what's the crap on my keeper league. I'm in third place. I'm
mhm.
battling for third place. So in my non-keeper league, I'm in last place because
Yeah,
I was on my keeper league all year more than sitting on my what's the name one, because the keeper one I was learning. This was my first year on the
Yeah.
keeper, so I was learning defense, I was learning keeping, I was learning trading first rounds and stuff like that. So it's just different. But yeah, no, for sure. But yeah, that should be we'll see what game they do with the
Mhm.
Mason Rudolph out there. So
Let's see. We got then Bengals and Chiefs, which I'm sure was like slated to be like this big epic game. People probably thought this would be the game, not the
I
Dolphins
know.
and the Ravens on who is going to determine the number one seed. But
Yeah,
obviously, lost to Joe Burrow, and the Chiefs have not been the same. They don't have the offensive weapons around Mahomes. The Chiefs are only 9-6. Bengals are 8-7. Bengals have played well, but I expect the Chiefs to win this game.
I
I
have to see
expect
the
them, but
Chiefs
I
winning
expect
this
them to
game
win
too.
last week. So
Yeah.
they've been a very surprising disappointment this year.
Yeah.
The
I feel
Chiefs.
like it's the Oakland or not Oakland anymore. Las Vegas Raiders. That's division. That's always tough no matter what. They
Yeah,
play you already. They know you.
right.
They been that coaching staff has been there playing you for years. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
It might not even be the same coach, but there's somebody in that organization that still is on that coaching staff that has played you. Is like, hey, I know these little tendencies. So they get a little bit bumped up that week. They're like, okay, tell me what you know. You know what I mean? And it works. Like they
Mhm.
had Patrick Mahomes rattled. This guy is the best quarterback in the league, the best quarterback we've seen since Tom Brady, and he was throwing picks like it was a Christmas gift. You know what I mean? So,
I fucking hated Tom Brady.
and I'm sure we all do.
But
But
like, because I've watched so many quarterbacks throughout my years of watching football, and I never saw anything from him other than his physical toughness. Because there was games like earlier in his career where he got lit up and he just got
yeah,
right back up, and like his physical toughness was right there with like Brett Favre, but
yeah,
his mental toughness and like his decision, and yeah, he gets the ball out quick, but like he never stood out to me as like, man, this guy is just incredible with what he does. Like he put up great numbers when he had like Randy Moss, and it's
yeah,
like, okay, yeah, but you had those things, and obviously you can't argue with his success and all of his rings, but
yeah.
I mean, when I watch quarterbacks play, guys like Dan Marino or Brett Favre and like guys like that. Like Peyton Manning, I always thought was a better like
Oh,
quarterback for what he did,
dude,
even though he didn't have the same
yeah.
success as
I don't think he
Brady.
had as good as teams, but man, was he so smart on the field, man. The dude
God, yeah,
was,
he changed the game. And what I'll say about Mahomes is he's incredible. Like
yeah, he is.
he's changed the way that you can play as a quarterback, and it's one of those things where it's like nobody else can play that way.
Yeah,
He plays the game of quarterback like a point guard. And now the problem is he doesn't have the talent around him. So even though he's
yeah.
making these weird like little shuffle passes and stuff, they're just dropping it. Or even when he buys time and he gets them, they just drop it, and it's like
That's why
it's
it's such
disheartening
a
for him.
dude, it's such a big thing. Like that's why when these people say these quarterbacks are this, and this, and then they're like, oh, they need these people around them.
They
Yeah,
do.
just like the guy that catch the ball, he needs that guy around him. You know what I mean? They need each
And
other. It's such a
yeah, they do. And Brady always had that around him. And
yeah,
I it's one of those things everybody's gonna like. Everybody in the media loves Brady, and I don't
yeah,
want to kill the guy. The guy obviously was the greatest winner ever,
yeah, for sure.
and like he was really really good.
Yeah,
But like what I would say is just how he and he released the ball so quickly it was tough to sack him.
yeah,
He wasn't waiting back there and then making a decision. Like he had a quick release, but they always surrounded him with that's what made Belichick so good and how that team was good.
yeah,
They always surrounded him with the types of players that made him successful. He always needed a really good slot receiver because he would be so good at that timing of like boom boom boom.
yeah,
But I don't think he was the type of quarterback that like could hit the flea off a nose of a dog 50 yards down the field. He didn't have
yeah,
like great accuracy, but he always put it where he needed to be. But anyway, that's enough.
yeah,
I'm not getting on Tom. This ain't a Tom Brady issue
yeah.
episode. So
No.
um,
Say that for another day.
let's move on. I kind of still like the Chiefs in that game,
Yeah,
but
me too.
Chargers and Broncos. Chargers have been a downward spiral, and now Broncos have all these changes.
Yep.
So, and the Broncos are 7-8, so that was kind of weird. Like, I don't know if they were mathematically eliminated, but they're still, pretty decent to make all these changes with 2 weeks left. Like I still think they had an outside shot
Yeah, to make it a wild
um,
card for
to
sure.
make a wild card, but whatever. They're making those changes. They are at home, so they
I think Broncos are
probably
getting the
will
win. The
win.
Chargers are they're shambles, man.
They
They
are.
did
At least,
they almost beat the Buffalo Bills with whatever the heck is stick
yeah.
on or whatever the heck his name is
So
sticking.
this is almost like your mid-season rebuild teams going head to head.
Yeah, for sure, for sure.
So we'll go for that. And then
Yeah,
the big way to end the NFL, the Packers and the Vikings.
yeah,
Both teams are 7-8, so I guess it's going to be it'll probably actually be a good game. This is a
yeah.
division game. Packers in Minnesota.
I
It's
think
not
the
a dome
Packers win this
anymore,
one.
so
They need it more. I think the
yeah, I
Pack.
think so too.
Yeah.
I like the Packers, but it could be a good game. Maybe it'll be our first tie of the year.
Oh,
You
that'd be yeah, dude. No
know,
ties this year. I'm shocked. I haven't seen any ties.
I
Usually it
know.
comes in like the second or third week.
For years, all of a sudden, like nobody ever got ties, and then all of a sudden, it was like we were
Shouldn't
getting
be
them all the
ties.
time.
They should like literally they should put their kickers like on the shootout like an NHL. They just let them kick from the 30, the 40, the 50, the 60,
That
and
would be
whatever.
awesome.
Yeah, that would be fun. Like you let them be like, okay, you guys tied the regular thing. Well, now we're gonna let your kickers try to kick a
Tie.
field goal that doesn't count towards their stats, but it gives you like the thing like the win, like it does with hockey. It gives them the extra
Yeah,
point. So it'd be like 2020, and then at the end of that regulation, the 10 minutes or whatever, now we're gonna let our kickers kick, and then you get 21, and
they
then you
could
get
do
1 point.
college where they make them start from like the 20,
Yeah, that's cool
and
too.
then you just keep going back and forth.
Yeah,
But the thing
seven
is,
overtimes.
yeah, yeah. I,
Yeah,
I like that kicking idea though. That'd be pretty neat. That'd be pretty cool. Like
yeah,
just a
that'd be
kickoff.
fun.
You
Yeah,
know,
yeah. Just have them kick field
although
goals.
what would really be interesting is if you made the other players do the kicks, like not just your kicker. It's like, all right, your kicker gets the long ones, but like first your
Yeah,
quarterback's got to kick a 20 field
like the
goal.
hockey does with
Then
the
right,
yeah,
like it's just a round robin,
yeah. You're
like
like, who's the guy out here? And like right from the jump, you get your guy that like who's a quarterback, but he also was a kicker first, because their
right,
chances of making it right there are like,
yeah.
okay, you made it. Now you have to get the other quarterback who probably never kicked in his life and he misses. You're like, all right, it's over.
Oh, like soccer, like because they all take turns. So like
Yeah,
yeah, like all right, this guy's got to kick the 20-year-old field goal.
yeah. You're
Your
like, I'm gonna
your
get like
your center's got to kick a 20.
that would be funny. They're like that. I don't know that number. He's coming out to attempt the
Ugh.
first kick. All right,
So
well, it looks
New
good.
yeah. So overall, that's the NFL for today. I don't
Yep.
know how much time we got left, but there is no Monday night game. That's why there was the Saturday night Monday
Saturday.
night
Okay.
game. That was the Monday night game.
Yeah.
Well, actually, as of right now, there is some basketball, but the big thing about New Year's Day is the Winter Classic in hockey. They've been doing
Okay.
this for 20 something years now, and it's awesome. It's always cool. You watch these guys do outside. They've expanded it to the point where like some of the Northeast teams, like the Rangers, they do a stadium series where they play the local teams in like they each play like two games on like some of the baseball stadiums and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So
Oh,
they do
that's
get
cool.
some outside games, but the Winter
Yeah.
Classic is every year, and this year it's Vegas versus the Kraken. I remember for like the first like 10 years, it was a good omen. Like the team that played in the Winter Classic, one of them went to the NHL Finals.
Wow,
Like
that's awesome.
they didn't always win, but they made
Yeah.
it to the finals, and it just happened to highlight, then eventually they got through so many games that it didn't happen. But
Yeah.
so it's always cool. Sometimes it snows. I usually enjoy that. I might turn that on.
Yeah.
It's
I'm
like an 8
probably gonna
o'clock
watch
game.
that.
So,
Yeah.
we'll watch that. See, it's Kraken in Vegas, so that should be a good game.
Yeah.
And whatever. I hope it snows because it always makes it more interesting. We can get snow in a hockey game, but not a football game this year.
Yeah.
But
Yeah. I haven't seen any
hopefully,
snow yet.
yeah, hopefully that changes. So,
Heck yeah.
well, we got the Chiefs, so maybe we'll get Chiefs and Bengals. Yeah, so maybe
Yeah.
there's little
Little
snow.
snowstorm, baby one. Get some snow on
Yeah,
the ground. We got some rain already, but we'll get that.
yeah. All right, so rant time. All right, I had my
Man.
rant earlier with the Knicks, but I might come up with something else. But I'll let you go, David. What do you want to rant about today?
All right, we'll make it quick. We're just going to talk about the refs. For a whole years of my life being a Finns fan, I've always been against the refs, and I probably always will be. I yell at the TV. I say it's
I
always
think
the
it's
Finns
every
versus
team.
the refs. I think it's every team, but like it's starting to show more and more of how much maybe refs are really impacting games on purpose. We don't know. We're never gonna know. They're not gonna come out and be like, yeah, the refs have been cheating for years. You know what I mean? They're never gonna say that. But at the end of the day, you're starting to make it clearer and clearer. So either you're gonna have to, like we rant previously on this show about making them full time or not. I don't know what you have to do. I don't know what is going on in this organization of the NFL, because you're already making it the no fun league, the not forever league, and all this leagues. Now you're making it the cheating league. Like, people are not dumb. Like, we're starting to catch on. Like, hey, why did that flag come out 35 seconds after everyone's celebrating? You know what I mean? Like, those are suspicious.
Yeah,
Like, that flag should have came out of that damn pocket as soon as he called the freaking ball. Like, as soon as he called the ball, flag. There should have been no celebration. It should have already been out. Like, now you're thinking, what, somebody in your ear saying, hey, throw that flag. No one, he wasn't eligible, but he was. So it's just a quick rant. We'll never know. We'll never know, because, like, if it continues down this path, people will turn their attentions to just betting and watching games for bets only, and it will not be fun anymore. The stands will not be
well,
even.
I
You'll
feel like
start.
that's
Yeah,
happening already.
yeah. So, like we talked earlier on the thing, like, is the NFL, like, what's their takes? Is the NFL championship even worth it anymore? Does this team even, like, is it like, yeah, we won the championship, but at the end of the day, what did it matter? Was it fixed? Did they write that
Yeah,
at the end of the year? Did they write that at the beginning? Did they have a meeting before the season and say, this is the team that's going to win the game at the end of the year? So, that's just my little rant, but it is what it
yeah.
is.
I'll just follow up on that and saying
Yeah.
that, you know, being a fan for so many years, and like yourself, David, we became friends because of our fandom. Like,
Yeah.
we're not fans of the same team, but like we're loyal to our teams. And like
Yeah.
growing up, and it is what it is. You meet so many fair weather fans that only support your team when you're winning, or they'll jump the bandwagon. Oh, I only like players, or I only like this and that.
Yeah.
More, I think more of people are like that nowadays. They're going to jump on the bandwagon on who's the best team, and I'm a Warriors fan. It's like, bro, the Warriors crap for years. Now you're all of a sudden a
Yeah.
Warriors
Now
fan.
I never seen you rep
You
the
still have
fam.
people who like Dallas. Obviously Dallas fans, we make fun of them and all that other stuff. But the world with us and the gambling, and between sports, fantasy sports and gambling sports, and all the different ways you can gamble now, that is how the modern fan is growing up. So like they are going to
Yeah.
go with favorites. They are going to go with the guys that put up the best numbers, because to them, sports isn't about winning championships and following the team from beginning to end, and
Yeah.
feeling that joy when you actually win a championship.
Yeah.
It's
That's the
about it's remembering that guy that scored a certain amount of points and won you that parlay. Those are the,
yes.
the guys that you're
Yeah.
going to remember and you're going to bet on, and then this and that. But like, unfortunately, that's kind of where sports is heading, and it's not going back. It's such a money industry. But anyway,
Yeah.
we're out of time because it says we have less than a minute. But anyway, it was a good show,
It was
and
a great
I
show.
can't wait. I can't wait for Tuesday to go over everything, and we're gonna have a lot of awards to give out.
Yes, very much.
So
Well,
happy New Year,
happy New Year's, not
Butcher and the
Christmas
Beard.
Eve, Butcher and
We
the
will see
Beard
you in 2024.
2024. Remember that. So make sure you like, subscribe,
2024 will be
comment.
the year for Butcher and the Beard.
Butcher and the Beard 2024. We love you. Thank you
Love you.
guys for everything, all the support, and keep grinding with us. We're out.